Have you ever wondered if having a partner after 70 could sometimes do you more harm than good? Many people assume companionship is always the cure for loneliness. But the truth is not that simple. At a certain age, the wrong kind of relationship can weigh heavily on your health, finances, freedom, and peace of mind. In today's video, we will uncover 5 real reasons why having a partner after 70 might not always be the blessing people think it is. This does not mean love and companionship are bad. It means the risks are real, and you deserve to know them. Stay tuned until the end, because some of these reasons may surprise you. You might even discover that sometimes walking alone is healthier and more rewarding than walking with the wrong person. Now, let's get started. Reason number 1. The burden on your health. One of the most powerful but often hidden reasons a partner can become harmful after 70 is the toll it takes on your physical and emotional health. At this age, your body simply doesn't respond to stress the same way it once did. In your 40s or 50s, you may have been able to brush off arguments, sleepless nights, or emotional strain. But after 70, the body is more fragile, the heart is more sensitive, and recovery is slower. Medical research shows that constant stress raises blood pressure, damages blood vessels, and increases the risk of heart attacks and strokes. Emotional strain also lowers the immune system, making you more vulnerable to infections, slower wound healing, and even worsening of chronic illnesses like diabetes and arthritis. But you don't need a medical textbook to see this truth. You've probably felt it yourself. The tightness in your chest after an argument. The restless sleep when you go to bed upset. The fatigue that lingers after days of tension. These are not just feelings, they are physical warning signs. Over time, those daily pressures quietly stack up and can shorten not only your joy, but your life. Case example. Gerald, 78, a retired carpenter, thought he had found happiness again after losing his wife. At first, the new relationship brought excitement and companionship. But slowly, criticism and constant demands crept in. He noticed he no longer had the energy for his morning walks, his sleep became restless, and his doctor found his blood pressure had spiked. What Gerald believed would bring healing instead chipped away at his health. Another example. Margaret, 75, loved gardening. After moving in with a partner, she found herself constantly stressed by his short temper and unpredictable moods. Within months, she noticed joint pain worsening, frequent headaches, and more days where she simply felt too drained to do the things she loved. Her friends said she looked older and more tired. These stories are not rare. Many seniors underestimate how damaging a stressful partnership can be because the harm builds slowly, day by day. Psychological insight. Stress from a toxic relationship keeps your body in a constant state of fight or flight. That means your nervous system never truly relaxes. The body produces extra cortisol and adrenaline, which strains the heart, weakens memory and focus, suppresses the immune system, accelerates physical aging. No medicine can fully undo the harm of living under constant stress. Peace, on the other hand, allows the body to heal itself naturally. Practical advice. Ask yourself one simple but powerful question. Do I feel healthier and calmer with this person, or weaker and more drained? If the answer is weaker, then that relationship is not giving you love. It is quietly poisoning your health. At this stage of life, protecting your health is protecting your freedom. You cannot enjoy your children, grandchildren, hobbies, or travel if your energy is being drained by emotional turmoil at home. Sometimes, a quiet evening alone with a cup of tea and good health is worth far more than sharing a bed with someone who leaves you feeling sick in body and spirit. Reason number 3, the loss of personal freedom. One of the most overlooked but most painful costs of having the wrong partner after 70 is the quiet erosion of your personal freedom. Think about it. After decades of hard work, raising children, building a career, managing responsibilities, you finally reach a stage where you can breathe. Retirement, for many, is supposed to mean freedom. Freedom to wake up when you want. Freedom to pursue hobbies like gardening, fishing, or reading. Freedom to see your grandchildren and friends on your own schedule. Freedom to live life on your own terms. But when you enter a partnership that slowly restricts your choices, that precious independence can begin to disappear before you even notice. How it starts. The loss of freedom doesn't always come with shouting or obvious control. Often, it begins gently. A partner may suggest you stop spending time with certain friends. Criticize hobbies they don't share. Expect you to rearrange your schedule around their needs. Slowly discourage visits with children or grandchildren. At first, these things may seem small, even loving. But over time, they add up, and the life you once enjoyed becomes smaller and smaller. Real-life example. Frank, 81, had always loved fishing on weekends and spending afternoons with his grandchildren. When he began dating again, his new partner seemed supportive. But within months, she started criticizing his hobbies as a waste of time. She complained when he spent too much time with family and expected him to follow her schedule instead. Before long, Frank realized he was living less for himself and more for someone else's expectations. What he thought would bring light into his life had quietly turned into a cage. Another example. Dorothy, 77, joined a seniors book club that gave her joy. But after moving in with her partner, she stopped attending because he disliked being left alone in the evenings. She told herself it was a small sacrifice for companionship. But over the years, she noticed how isolated she had become, less connected with friends, less engaged with her passions, and more dependent on one relationship that felt restrictive. Why it matters. Psychologists remind us that autonomy, the ability to live freely and make your own choices, is a basic human need at every age. When autonomy is taken away, the result is frustration, resentment, loss of dignity, even depression. After 70, losing freedom can feel especially bitter, because you've worked your whole life to finally earn it. The psychological trap. Many seniors don't recognize the loss of freedom until it's too late. They think, this is just part of being in a relationship. Compromise is normal. Yes, compromise is normal, but control is not. The difference is simple. Compromise means both people give a little. Control means one person loses their freedom while the other gains more power. Practical advice. Ask yourself these questions honestly. Do I feel more free with this person, or more restricted? Do I feel I can still enjoy my hobbies, friendships, and family without guilt? Am I living my own life, or the life someone else expects me to live? If your freedom feels smaller today than it did before the relationship, that is a warning sign. The takeaway. At this stage of life, freedom is not selfish, it is survival. The wrong partner can shrink your world, while the right partner should expand it. If companionship feels like a cage, then walking alone may actually be the truest form of freedom. Reason number 4, the emotional toll of constant conflict. Arguments in later life carry a heavier weight than they did in our younger years. When you're 30 or 40, disagreements may feel like part of the journey. But after 70, every day matters more, and constant tension can drain your spirit. For many older adults, entering a new relationship is supposed to bring peace and stability. Yet instead, they find themselves in a cycle of criticism, disagreements over money, disputes about children, or even simple clashes about daily routines. One person wants quiet evenings, the other wants social gatherings. One wants to save money, the other spends freely. One values family time, the other resents the presence of adult children or grandchildren. These differences may seem small at first, but repeated conflict creates emotional exhaustion. Instead of looking forward to companionship, you begin to dread the stress. Example. Gloria, 76, remarried after losing her husband. She hoped for comfort in her new marriage. Instead, her days were filled with arguments about money and household decisions. I thought I'd found peace, she shared, but instead, I feel like I'm living in constant war. Chronic stress from conflict has also been linked to higher risks of high blood pressure, weakened immunity, and even heart problems. In short, the wrong partner doesn't just break your spirit, they may break your health. Reason number 5. The strain on relationships with children and family. After 70, your children and grandchildren often become the center of your emotional world. But here's the hard truth: the wrong partner can quietly drive a wedge between you and your family. Sometimes it's intentional, sometimes it's not. A partner may criticize your children's choices, create tension during family gatherings, demand your attention in ways that leave little space for family time, compete with your grandchildren for affection. This puts you in a painful position, choosing between family harmony and your relationship. Example: Howard, 79, remarried a woman who disliked his children. At first, he thought he could manage the tension. But as years passed, his children visited less, holidays became strained, and the warmth of family life faded. Eventually, he admitted that while he had gained a partner, he had lost the closeness of his family. At this stage of life, family is often your strongest source of love and support. The wrong partner can unintentionally isolate you from the very people who will stand by you when health or aging challenges arrive. Reason number 6. Financial vulnerability and dependence. One of the hardest lessons seniors learn too late is that love does not erase financial risk. In many cases, entering a new partnership after 70 brings not just companionship but also complicated financial ties. Suddenly, your assets, savings, or even your home may become entangled. Here's where things often go wrong. A partner may pressure you into shared bank accounts. They may push for expensive purchases you don't truly want. They may expect you to cover their debts or medical bills. In worst cases, financial abuse or exploitation occurs. Example: Ruth, 82, moved in with a man she trusted. Within 2 years, her savings had dwindled, spent on luxuries he insisted on. When he passed away, she was left with debt and no security. What was meant to be a loving partnership ended in financial ruin. Financial independence is one of the last shields of dignity in later life. Losing it can mean depending on others, giving up choices, or even facing poverty when you should be enjoying peace. Reason number 7. The loss of peace and dignity. Finally, the greatest cost of the wrong partner after 70 is often the quiet loss of peace and dignity. At this age, what most seniors crave is not excitement or drama, it's calm. A sense of safety. A chance to live the remainder of life with grace. But the wrong partner can steal that. Instead of peace, you live with worry. Instead of dignity, you may feel controlled, criticized, or diminished. Example: Estelle, 85, shared that her second marriage felt like a constant performance. Her husband belittled her choices, mocked her memory lapses, and dismissed her opinions. "I feel like a child in my own home," she said. What she longed for was not romance, but respect. After 70, dignity is not optional. It is your birthright. If a relationship takes away your peace of mind and self-respect, then no companionship is worth the price. Finding love or companionship after 70 can be beautiful, but only if it adds peace, joy, and freedom to your life. The wrong partner, however, can cost you everything: your health, your family, your finances, your freedom, and even your dignity. If you're considering a relationship in later years, remember, it's better to be alone and at peace than partnered and in pain. Companionship should expand your life, not shrink it. Love should protect you, not harm you. And if you ever feel your spirit is dimming, know this: walking away may be the bravest and wisest choice of all.